Thank you. I think last session always is interesting. So I'll try to keep this to the point, and I'll talk only for half an hour. See, I think if you look at an average user today, we spend 25% of our time an internet user spends on Facebook or Google or something like that. Now that's a lot of time. Today, you have spent the whole day sitting here in a seminar. We have talked about mobility, we have talked about analytics, we have talked about cloud, social media, like what was being said, that there is social media SMAC has got also sentiment analysis in it, that how just sentiments have to be today managed by government. So the role of government is going to change significantly. What I would like to talk about is how all these things come together and how it's going to impact our life as we go forward. Because if you look at each area is a challenge. Mobility, you have billion plus users. You talk about analytics. There's about 2.5 terabytes, millions of terabytes of data being produced every day. How can a government make sense out of it? You look at cloud, it is all pervasive, it is there everywhere at the same time. So what I want to talk to you about is not about just today. I want to talk about how all these things converge together to create the future, and also then I would like to briefly talk about how the government can do something about it. First thing, what has changed is now you have everything as a service. Times have changed. You can book a cab, you can do accounting, you can put network as a service, storage as a service, you name it, communication as a service, everything as a service. Now that is one thing which is only going to grow more and more. It is almost like a catalog driven model. To talk in simple words, आप जैसे restaurant में जाते हैं, you can order anything you want from the menu. It's a catalog based service. I mean, that's where the whole SMAC convergence is going towards, number one. Number two, it is all self-service automated platforms. 15 years back, would you be able to book your railway ticket, or would you even think of booking it on your own, or printing a boarding pass on your own? Not possible. But today, if you look at 40% of all bookings for the railway is done on the IRCTC platform. It is expected that 90% of all air bookings will happen on your own. What the companies have done smartly and what the government should do is they are moving the cost of transaction from themselves doing it to the self-service where you're doing it. You're reducing cost as well. But I think more important what is happening is you are creating new self-developed, self-service automated platforms, automation platforms. The third thing what is happening is co-creation. If I build something which is world-class, fantastic in one part of the world, in anywhere, within minutes, I can start using it somewhere else. Or I can co-create something. The earlier session was on health. You have seen how using just WhatsApp, you are able to have two doctors work on a difficult problem, co-work and solve a problem. Or how can you create a new model by having two software engineers in two different parts of the world co-create and crack some difficult areas. So there's co-creation, which is another new trend which is happening. There are two other trends which I'll rush through quickly. One is what is called as crowdsourcing, which is probably, crowdsourcing as the word itself implies, you source to the crowd. You just define this is a problem I have, and people can come in and, bid for it and quote for it rather than going through a tender system. And the final, what I'm saying is, what the convergence comes to is, it's an outcome-based model. Moving away from, and you look at somewhere it's happening, that you are going to pay only on the basis of not input, on the basis of outcome. So that's where the convergence of all this SMAC, which is the topic of this, is going towards. The impact for UP government, or for any government for that matter, is, I think it's a unique opportunity because you have to understand 50% of the population of the country is below 30. We are on the other side of the hill, unfortunately. they are the ones who are going to consume this service. And let me tell you, they are not as shy as we are in terms of adoption of technology. So there's a unique opportunity, I think, to do that on one side, and the unique opportunity to transform tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities, which till now there has been a, I would say, an information arbitrage. Somebody who is from a big state, or is from Delhi, or is from Bombay, versus who is from a small place, he does not have the access, and there was an information arbitrage which was being used, which I think is getting leveled. For example, we implemented an auction platform for the tobacco board, but that any farmer, anywhere, any part of India, he can auction his goods, cutting down all middlemen, and get the price. And the pricing for us was, we did not charge anything for it. We charged only 50 paisa per kilo of transaction. Sorry, 50 paisa per quintal of transaction. So this is, something which the government can use. UP government is very rich. It's an agrarian state. Sugarcane, I think the Chief Minister told today. I think there are many such things which, the government, UP government can clearly use without really, and actually raise the cost and increase the penetration as well. So that's one thing which one can look at. Second is, if you look at, and by the way, the e-auction platform is, I've just used a commodity as an example to drive home. It could be for anything. The second, what you could do is, you look at enterprise solutions, which is, for example, just fund management for a state. When I say fund management for a state, a state is a very large, and it's easy to manage a budget for an individual at home. But imagine managing a state which has got 300, 400 different departments. Optimizing fund management, even if you are able to optimize your fund by 10% or 5% for a month, the cost of interest of that will be in hundreds of crores. A state, typically Andhra Pradesh, where we are doing a project, the cost of funds per month is about something like 80,000 crores. So just the ability to manage it by a few days, you can, that's a combination of being able to put technology, put mobility, put analytics together, and possibly host it on the cloud. And the third is, of course, I think very easy, which is what I call, citizen service or self-service. I mean, again, another state had something like 27 lakh employees. Instead of you maintaining their leave records, why don't you make them enter the leave records? Imagine for 27 lakh people. And all you do is have their boss audit it. That's it. I think these are simple things. To me, frankly, this SMAC is a transformational area. The amount of areas it can go into, Mr. Sharma was talking about it, frankly, it's endless. It's only how we here on, how we are able to use this conversion into digital India. I mean, smart cities, e-municipalities, you name it. I mean, it is endless. But I think you require somebody who will understand this, look at how the convergence of all this comes together to make a difference.